So how many of you can ollie on a skateboard? 1, 2, I'm not that athletic. Okay. In many ways, it's the only way to learn how to really skateboard because it's really the first trick that we all learn. I've skated since I was very little, even though I wasn't very good. I did learn that skateboarding is something to be respected because it is really hard to master all the technical aspects of skateboarding. Ronnie Mullen has done more for the world of skateboarding than any other person in the history of the sport. Through Mullen's innovation, he redefined the sport and inspired millions of people to follow in his footsteps. First, I'll talk about the change in skateboarding during Ronnie Mullen's beginning years, and then I'll finally discuss his ideas of creativity through skateboarding. So first, let's talk about his early career. In Mullen's book titled The Mutt, How to Skateboard and Not Kill Yourself, written in 2005, Mullen describes his experiences as a child. Mullen was born in Gainesville, Florida to a stereotypical military dad. His dad did not embrace his decision to become a skateboarder, let alone a professional one. He was an educated man and did not believe Ronnie was spending his time in a worthwhile activity. However, he did decide to let Ronnie skate until he was hurt. In an article, Ronnie Mullen Skates New York, written in 2012 by Alex Wilkinson, a writer for The New Yorker, one day Ronnie was skating and fell and lost a tooth. He called his dad crying not because of the pain of losing the tooth, but rather because of the fact that he might lose skateboarding. And this just shows how much he cared about the sport and not so much his own physical pain. Success came to Ronnie in the form of championships, and a lot of them. Ronnie was sort of simple-minded in a good way. In an article in Huck magazine by Ed Andrews in 2010, his first competition came by not him entering the contest, but rather his first sponsor entered it for him. His reaction to being entered without his knowledge was, I better not look like an idiot, which means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and for Ronnie it meant winning the entire competition. And he continued to win, having won every contest except for one. He describes the feeling as winning, though, as stifling his creativity for the sport. Skateboarding has been largely restricted to the bowl set type of skating at the time. So I just discussed his early career, and now I'll move on to talk about what ultimately led Ronnie to making a dramatic decision that will change the course of skating forever. So after realizing that after you win once, you're just defending, Ronnie decided to street skate. Ronnie said in a TED Talk entitled Pop and Ollie and Innovate, given at USC campus in 2012, a place he recalls getting kicked out of several times. This was a completely foreign environment, and Ronnie was forced to essentially start from scratch. He recalls being terrible in the new style, but being judged because of the fact that he was already famous for all of his championships. Again, in the article by Huck magazine by Ed Andrews in 2010, Ronnie had his way with skateboarding. His ability to be fluid with a board was unmatched. Skateboarding requires, in a way, for a skater to become one with the board. Mullen would go on to invent a plethora of tricks, like the ollie, which was foundation for skateboarding, and giving skaters the ability to actually get on objects and rails. In his TED Talks, he talks about that during the invention of the Primo slide, he was having surgery in his knee, yet he kept practicing, saying that if he messed up his knee more, they would just have more work to do. The Primo slide is where the skateboard is sliding on the side of the actual skateboard, creating a completely unstable surface for the skater. Sure enough, after coming out of surgery, Ronnie went on to filming and landing the trick that he had his heart set on. In all, Ronnie invented a huge list of tricks such as the heel flip, Casper flips, and of course even the common kick flip. Ronnie invented these tricks, and we cannot even imagine skateboarding without these. The kickflip has become so commonplace that most people who don't even know how to skate know exactly what a kickflip is, and they know exactly how it looks. Being the king of skateboarding could have made Ronnie's ego huge, but it didn't. So we'll talk about that next. Ronnie Mullen never thought of himself as a hero, nor as someone to be looked upon highly, but rather just someone who loved the creative process and wanted to keep the sport he loved so much. Nowadays, skaters tend to use their celebrity to show their wealth or how important they are. However, that is the complete opposite for Ronnie. In the New Yorker article, Ronnie Mullen Skates New York, written in 2012 by Alex Wilkinson, he details the most tranquil place Mullen found to skate was Central Park at midnight, a place where he could be alone and skate without being judged by other people who recognized him. and that he recognized that his greatest success was not all of his championships, but rather inspiring millions of kids to continue to skateboard. Also in the article by Wilkinson, Mullen also went on to become a successful businessman with the creation of Almost and Enjoy, two of the biggest companies in skateboarding. And he was also a body double for The Secret Life of Walter Mitty during Ben Stiller's longboarding scenes. So therefore, we see all these reasons how Rodney Mullen was the most important influence on skateboarding. First, we saw his dedication in his young years, and then the invention of the tricks at his high points, and his business success after his career. So go out and be creative. Maybe it's not in skateboarding, but something else. But never let success stifle your creativity. Thank you.